What's up guys, it's Let Us Play and welcome back to part 2 of the Guild Wars Let's Play. We left off in Fort Rannoch, and in this episode we're going to be just kind of completing more pre-searing. We're just going to do a lot of secondary quests, and I'm going to kind of talk over the gameplay at certain points of the episode, and just start going over what's actually happening in the Guild Wars world and what our character is doing and stuff like that. But as for right now, we are killing these spiders to do this secondary quest, and the reason I took the quest and I'm killing these spiders in the first place is because there's a collector in Fort Rannoch who takes spiders' legs and gives us the leg piece of the armor set, the upgraded armor set for pre-searing. So it's kind of like knocking out two birds with one stone, you know, getting the quest done and also picking up the spider's legs. So here we are turning it in for 250 experience to Mary Malone, and we head into Fort Rannoch next, talk to this guy Varus, the collector, get the Crichton hose for 3 spider's legs, and that's that done. So now we have 2 pieces of the upgraded armor set for pre-searing. And next, I go talk to this guy. I saw him, and there was another collector in Fort Rannoch, and he's taking unnatural seeds, which you get by killing aloe husk and aloe seeds, and you need 5 of them, which is actually harder than it seems, but you need 5 of them to get the top piece, the shirt for the upgraded armor set. So that's what I got on to doing next, and it was simple enough. Like, they're really easy to kill, but the chance of picking one up is kind of slim. These 5 guys right here, I don't show them very much. I just kind of included them in because I wanted to make a little comment about them. They're 5 bear hunters, and if you talk to any one of them and go kill a bear with him, then he gives you a hunter's ale, which I don't think a lot of people know about, and it's just kind of a cool thing in pre-searing. And next, we are going to a pretty famous spot in pre-searing and in Guild Wars in general, the Secret Garden, which is hidden by those like flowers. So any casual players who don't like know about all these little things in the game will probably skip over this. And it's a really cool area. It's a really like pretty area, and you get to talk to this guy Nicholas Sanford and his little companion guy, like Professor Yackington or whatever. And what they do is you get 5 of some item that changes every day, and Nicholas Sanford collects them and gives you a gift of the huntsman. So today it's 5 baked husks, but it might be like skeletal limbs or scale fins and stuff like that. Those little stackable items that the monsters give you that you just really merch most of the time. And Professor Yackington is the only supplier of the headgear of the upgraded armor set in pre-searing, and you need 50 red iris flowers for it. So here is Hatcher the Collector. I turn in my unnatural seeds to get the top piece, the Crichton attire, for the upgraded armor set, and it's kind of unfortunate that I'm deleting my starting armor set, but it's alright, we're never going to use it again. If I have a pre-searing only character, I like to keep it, just to have for whatever reason, just to wear around in Ascalon City and stuff. But it won't be important for us. And right here, I was going back to Nicholas Sanford because I killed the baked husks, as you saw, or killed the plague worms to get the baked husks, as you saw earlier, and all those scale like compiled up perfectly, and I got a good firestorm on them, and it was really satisfying because I killed like 12 of them at once. So here is me turning in the 5 baked husks to Nicholas Sanford, and we get the get to the huntsman, and I was debating whether to open it or not, but I decided to open it, similarly for the same reason as I decided to destroy my armor. Like, if we just hold on to it throughout post-searing, it doesn't do much good to us. So I decided to open it up, and we get 5 aged hunter's ales, and we'll use those for the drunkard title most likely. Right there is Lieutenant Langmar. I don't show her for very long, but once you're level 10, her and that skills trainer offer you quests that only level 10 plus in pre-searing can do, and it's to help you get the title Legendary Defender of Ascalon, which is where you get level 20 in pre-searing. And a fun fact is that her and Nicholas Sanford and Professor Yakington, those two collectors, are the only level 20 NPCs in all of pre-searing. Even Prince Rurik is only level 10. So I thought that was kind of a fun fact, but yeah, she gives you quests that are worth 1,000 experience because once you get to level 10, monsters don't give you experience anymore outside of the Char north of the wall, which is the only pre-searing content that I don't really show on this character, mostly because we'll be too low level to fight them anyway. But I wanted to start talking a little bit more about the lore now that I bring up the Char. What's happening in the Guild Wars world right now is the two major human territories, Ascalon and Kryta, are separated by a set of mountain ranges, and we're on the east side, they're on the west side, and north of us, but still east of this mountain range, are where the Char live. These, like, most of you probably know what the Char are, but for those of you who don't, they're like giant bear cat type species that are like twice our size, like twice the human size, and they're basically invading us and going to war with us. And if you look on the world map at all throughout this episode, I leave my mission map open most of the time, but if you look in Ascalon City, there's a giant wall north of the city, and that's to keep the Char out. And what's happening in the game is that the Char are starting to break through the wall, and we're like on the brink of war with them. So pre-searing is basically the tutorial area, and the searing mission is the Char finally invading us and attacking Ascalon City, and it leads to like this giant outbreak of war for 2 years, and post-searing is what happens after that 2 year span. This area right here that I'm in, that I kind of was talking over, I had never seen it before in pre-searing ever, which is like why I included it in the video. But what happens is the Char invade, and we're there, and we survive, and Prince Rurik survives, and King Adelburn survives, who's the king of Ascalon. And what happens is the Crichtons are still fine. Like, they're still just chilling on the west side of this mountain range, the other big human, like, collection of cities, the other big territory. And what they do at the beginning of the searing is like offer to help us, like, hey, we'll help you fight the Char. But the two territories have like this really long, like 100-year rivalry thing. Like, they hate each other because they've been at war with one another the whole time, because there hasn't really been much else to be at war about before the Char. So there was what's called the Guild War, or like, there's been several guild wars, but the last guild war was Ascalon versus Kryta, and that's what the game is named after, because that's the main conflicting point of the storyline, and that's what post-searing is about, is us and Kryta kind of like joining forces to beat the Char. At least at the beginning, that's what it's about. So what's been happening as I've been talking over is I've been doing secondary quests that didn't really matter too much, but I collected icy lodestones when I was outside of Wizard's Folly that one time and got the last piece of upgraded armor. So I now have 4 out of the 5 pieces of upgraded armor that I'm going to get anyways. And right here, I joined a party with this guy, and we did the quest Adventure with an Ally, which is what gives you Resurrection Signet, and I let him through to the north of the wall because he wanted a gate monkey, which is where you open the gate for someone to go kill the Char, and then you just leave and they do it by themselves. So that wraps up pre-searing for this character, guys. Thank you for sticking around for quite a long time in pre-searing, but it's finally about to be over. We collect our reward for getting a secondary profession, which I decided to keep Elementalist, as it's just a load of damage and we're going to have henchmen to heal us up anyway. I talked to Armin Saberlin here, and we get 250 experience for taking a secondary profession, and now we are ready to head into the searing. We talked to Sir Titus here, and he just says, like, we're going out to kill the Char. There's this Char boss, and now we are going into the searing, guys, but that is going to have to wait until next time. This has been Lettuce Plate. I'll catch you guys next time.